Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm LA, and we're sorting things out right now, but looks like the race has begun. This is live, yes. Okay, well, jumping right into it, we find the Power Glove at Uncle. We have Caladrius and DoctorBobtastic doing the Houlihan Room for money. And there's the Moon Pro. So lots of items, really interesting at the start. This is not a four-way race. This is top versus bottom, in the name of DT versus Mikan, and DoctorBobtastic versus Caladrius. Okay, we'll have a co-commentator here for you in just a second. Okay, in the name of DT making use of do they have the sword? I'm assuming they do, if they're coming up here to escape with no bombs. Yeah, they do. Ooh, half magic in the first chest and escape. That's really good. They don't have any way to use it right now, but DoctorBobtastic got the fire rod. It's somewhere. Fire at the race game, I see. So that won't evade the rest of the runners for very long. Hello, hello.
How we doing, everybody?
Got a replacement for Killer App who went MIA. We have the Shades. How you doing, bud?
Doing fantastic. I see we got ourselves already a fantastic race starting things off here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lots of good items found early. We just have our top two making their way to Kakariko now.
Indeed. Let's see what we've got so far. Wow, we've already, within a few minutes in, we've already got Hook Shot, Power Glove, Fighter Sword, and Fire Rod. What? I'm pretty ready to start things off.
Yeah, that's quite a buffet of items. And Fire Rod's at the race game, so that won't evade the top two for much longer, I feel.
No, you're going to catch that. In fact, I think it looks like DT's already going to be heading that way now, so.
In race game and Keysanity is usually something that people check without even looking, just because the high probability there's going to be something there that you want, like a key or something.
Of course.
And the Fire Rod's kind of like a key if you think about it, because it opens up Skullwoods.
Yeah, it's essentially the Skullwoods big key when you think about it, really. And so we've already found the Eastern Pal's big key over there in the Blinds Hut. Oh, and also Shovel. Oh, wow. Hashtag fetch quest, ladies and gentlemen.
Does the shovel count as a key because it unlocks the thing in the ground? Or is that stretching it a bit?
That's probably stretching it a little bit. I mean, if it find a key from it, then maybe, but...
Yeah.
All right, found Misery Mire key.
Tower of Hera small key is another nice thing to find, because when you go up there, you're going to want to check the basement, and it's always a pain to come back for just for that. Ooh, can of Samaria. I've missed that in a while.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the can of Samaria is in the well.
How ironic! I was just over on Phantom Ryu's stream, so ladies and gentlemen, call him over because it's gotta be Kane.
In the name of DT, making use of this secret little shed here to stock up on these bombs. Not a bad idea, especially when you're trying to conserve money and you don't have money early. This is a really good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with Keysanity, there's many a times where money becomes very hard to come by early on, so it's best to just stock up on as many bombs as you can. Oh, we're gonna find out what the shovel spot is over here on Mikan's side. Ooh, bombos!
Ooh,
that could be interesting.
And bombos can be a key too, can it?
Yeah, technically it's a key to 2 different dungeons. It also could be useful in opening up some rooms in Ice Palace. So yeah, I'd call that a key of sorts.
Yeah. Keys of all shapes and sizes.
Oh, and I did not see what DoctorBobtastic saw in the Lumberjack Cave, unfortunately. I know he was just there.
Oh, I missed that as well, unfortunately. I hope it was a key.
We gotta hope it's something, right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
That's the trouble when you're watching 4 screens at once, folks. You're always guaranteed to miss something good. All right. Chat saying there was a compass in the Lumberjack Cave, so not much there.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to want to get that, unfortunately.
Nobody wants a compass. I mean, even with Keysanity changing things up, you not need... We got a map to Misery Mire in the dam chest. That's something a little more helpful because it can let you know what crystals and pendants are in each dungeon, since those are no longer revealed as easily. Let me see, we got 5 rupees. Oh, scam from the bottle vendor. We pay 100 rupees, only get 5 back.
Yeah, that's one of the worst scams you can give you, too. It's awful.
Yeah. No, the worst scam would be a single rupee. That's the worst.
That would be the worst.
Yes.
5 isn't much better, though.
No, it isn't. All right, I saw a compass in the dam, and it looks like what DoctorBobtastic is heading right over to the desert. He's going to go ahead and check Agnes Cave and the desert ledge.
Yeah, and this can pay off. It's kind of a gamble for sure. But if there's something good in Agnes Cave, that can be a spot that eludes people for quite a while.
That's very true. Mikan now going to check over to the back end of Escape. Got 3 good items back there. Definitely worth checking that out.
Yep, and it's so quick to check. It's really nice.
Indeed. Ooh, and mirror!
Oh,
Not
baby.
bad at all.
Not bad at
all.
all.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Team Hell No complete. We got the Cane of Brian and Agnes Cave.
Huh. That's an interesting one for sure. Because if that's the only invincibility item for a while, that could put Spike Cave in the logic without them actually realizing it. When they find Hammer, of course.
Indeed. Also got to give credit to the custom sprites we've got going on here. DT rocking Negative Link. Mikan rocking Bunny Link. Of course, Caladrius doing regular good old vanilla Link. But DoctorBobtastic rocking one of my top 5 favorites. Mike Jones from the Star Tropics series. Speaking of Dr. Bob, he's now in the Mini Moldorm Cave. One of the premier hot spots for the randomizer, regardless of what mode you play.
This cave can be really, really good. The Mini Moldorm's trolling a bit with the hookshot dodges, but
well, at least it doesn't have to use bombs.
Yes, this is very true.
I've seen plenty of runs go that way. Let's see what we find here. We've got Swagnet, a piece of heart, a compass for Thieves Town, the single arrow, and the ice rod.
Well, that salvaged it right there at the end.
So let's see if we've got. Let's make a note of this. We already have both rods, both canes, and 1 medallion. How much you want to bet Turtlerock's going to be a pendant?
Yeah, that's probably... We found the big key, too, so it's almost guaranteed at this point.
Oh, yeah, that up, definitely.
So we have DT, he opted to go up Death Mountain, even without the lamp, which is not a bad idea when you have the hook shot.
Yeah, if you've got to lose hook shot, it's certainly not a bad call to make. It's 10 bomb upgrade for his trouble. And it looks like Dr. Bob and Mikan are both heading over to the Ice Rod Cave. One of the more difficult areas to ride, even if you have the two quick use items like the boots and flute to get there quickly enough, it's still out of your way. So it's just best to get it over with as soon as you can.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The Sphere Zero spots can be really trolling.
Oh, and he takes a debt to the crabs. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, that's the worst part of this check. It's just the crabs, because they do 2 hearts of damage. Just think about that, 2 hearts of damage with green mail. That's like Dark World levels.
Yeah, Mikan's going to check, though, see if that was a waste of time anyway. Yep, just a big 20. So, Dr. Bob, it's going to eat away at him, but thankfully, even if he never goes back there, it's not going to cost him anything.
Yeah, I think he's going to suffer more from the mental stress of that than the missing of $20.
Indeed. But he is going to go ahead and check Uncle here, and probably route in Escape if they haven't done it already.
Mikan heading to the Eastern Palace area. Check Sarashla. Probably get the information on the green pendant while they're there. Maybe dip into Eastern. They got the big key for that.
Yeah. Well, you can't really do. You can check the big chest there, but you won't be able to go much further than that without the bow. So hopefully he'll find that soon enough.
Yeah. Well, they can check all the chests at least. They won't be able to get to Armos and get his item, but sometimes the bow's in Eastern.
That's very true. The trolliest thing a randomizer can do is put an item in its vanilla location. Tower of Hera holds our green key, or green pendant, I should say. Can't talk. Jumping in this quickly. Ooh, there's our map to Eastern and a compass to Meyer.
There's the bow! There's the bow! Wow. Oh boy.
Well, Eastern just became a lot more viable.
Yeah, definitely. Mikan's not even thinking about it twice. Like, yep, I'm going there.
You got the big key, you got the bow, why would you not? I mean, even if it is a pendant dungeon, it's so quick to do.
Oh, yeah. And especially in Keysanity, there could be quite a few useful things in here. And
it looks like DT found flippers over here in the Paradox Cave.
So that's not in logic quite yet, because we don't know where the lantern or the flute is, but that's still a really good item to find.
Absolutely. Now the question is what else we found? We are getting a pretty good early start of items here this early in the race. There's 300 rupees in here in Eastern.
That is so useful right now.
So the question is, with how quickly we're getting items at this point, I mean, we're only 15 minutes in and look at all we've got. When's the trolling start?
Oh, boy.
You know it's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming.
Version 28, it's version 28 we're working on right now? You know it's coming. Bob finding a big key to Turtle Rock, so that was what was in Escape. I didn't see that before.
Another 50 for Mikan, so this is turning into like Indiana Jones. We're just getting stuff to sell, which is still useful. I mean, this early, you need Zora money, you need pod money and such like that.
Chat calling for GT Big Key on pedestal. I would love to see that, to be honest.
See that too.
Our runners will hate it to death, but us as viewers, we would love it to death.
Well, there's
and, ooh, flute!
Wow, that's amazing. So now that flipper is in logic.
Mikan, you've got the big key, you've got the bow, finish the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely. At least check the big chest.
You've got the means to full clear this dungeon. Finish it already. I mean, even if it's a pendant, you know, you could get an item off the Armos Knights. And speaking of, big key for Skull Woods. It means when they finally do get to the Dark World, they'll be able to check that. And you still got the vanilla big key chest to check as well. So let's see what that brings.
Yeah, and this dark room up here before Armos isn't actually too hard with the fire rod, because you can hit the torch and light everything up. So.
Plus, most of our runners can do these dark rooms without any trouble. DT now heading up here finds Hammer on Spectacle Rock.
God.
What is going on with this seed?
If we find Mitts that in Turtle Rock Spombos, this could be one of the fastest Turtle Rock dips I've ever seen. Not to get ahead of myself or anything.
Map to Swamp Palace there for DT. Fortunately, Caladrius also seen the hammer, but he can't claim it because he does not have the mirror. And we do find a heart container in the basement here, on one of the two basements here in Tower of Hera. DT's got to pick that up because they're a little shy on health right now.
Yep, and without any other keys, that's all you can do. So he just pieces out. This is actually good for Mikan, though, because when they head up to Hera, they can get that hammer as well, and I think they got the small key to Tower of Hera?
Yes, they do.
So they'll be able to get a little deeper than DT did.
Well, DT has it too. He's got the small key.
Oh, did he not? Huh? What? He didn't?
He doesn't have the fire rod. He has no fire source.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He's going to kick
That
himself when he
sucks.
checks that race game later.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mikan finally moving on to the Armos Knights here.
Looks like DT would like to take a trip into the Village Outcasts.
Yeah, he's got the means to do so. He's got the Moon Pearl, he's got the Power Glove and the Hammer. So he can check all of this. So he's going to be the first of our 4 runners to head into the Dark World. And let's see what he finds. Meanwhile, Mikan, very quick kill. And Vanilla Heart Container from the Armos Knights. And it's the blue pendant.
That sucks. But, I mean, you get a blue, so this was definitely worth coming here. One heart, but those 6 guys, come on.
Yeah, you get the flute. You get potentially, with the Skullwoods big key, you get some potential there if the big chest has anything. And plus, you never know. We might see a pedestal seed, so that could actually give them the edge later on. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. DT came to Skullwoods right away. This room's so easy with the cane. Love it.
And DT finds big key to Misery Mire. That could come into play later if we find out that's a required dungeon.
Definitely the key to Misery Mire you want to find, because all the small keys are pretty meh.
They're pretty much useless if you know what you're doing, but the big key you do need to have if you do have to clear that dungeon.
Yeah, you can't lockpick that or anything like that.
Oh, wait, DT did have Fire Rod. Okay, now I am questioning why he didn't check basement. He's actually going to head off. He's going straight for Mothula as Mikan is activating his flute. Get your swag ducks in check, ladies and gentlemen.
And this is an interesting choice to skip the basement.
Yeah, indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, the goose is loose. All right, big 20 in the back there of Skull Woods. Dr. Bob now got a fake flipper. He's got the... Oh, no, he doesn't have enough rupees for Zora, so he's not going to be able to check much. And I could not see what was on Lake Hylian Island, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. It was weird.
I was trying to see. But he denied us that viewing. Caladrius now heading over to Sir Hostile Closet. He's about to pick up his big B. As Dr. Bob now heading over to the Hobo.
Mikan doing the Death Mountain play, which is very sense make when you get the flute.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Bob finds just a piece of heart from the old Hobo. Gave him what little life he had left.
Wow, that's dark.
All right, so DT now taking on Mothula. A bit of a risky play with only Fighter Sword, Hammer, and only a little bit of health. Doesn't even have, only has Green Tunic, so he is taking a very big risk here with this fight.
Yeah, he does have half magic, so it's a little easier than it normally would be, but it's still, that's not a lot of room for a mistake.
No, it is not. He's already struggling a little bit here.
Yeah.
Oh, and now he takes a fall.
That's unfortunate. Barely touches the wing, takes 2 hearts of damage. Quite painful. But that's Mothula for you. That's just one of those fights.
Indeed. Dr. Bob now setting up the water walking glitch over here in Waterfall of Wishing. Get some blue potion and the lamp.
Oh, very interesting. So, dark rooms are officially in logic because we know where all the stuff to get it is.
Yep, the flippers are up on Death Mountain. In fact, I think Mikan's about to pick those up right now. Let's see, there's the flippers. I also found a small key to Thieves Town. It means the big chest is now in play. Heart piece, and just a 5-bomb upgrade. So not too bad. I mean, it's not as hype as I normally see Paradox Cave, but I'll take it.
It was acceptable, I would say, yes.
Well, it was acceptable in the 80s anyway.
DT trying his luck again. Not
He's
going
a
so
braver
well.
man than I would be. I would not even try this right now.
Yeah, I think at this point you just peace out and say, I'll come back later.
Yeah, he's 2 deaths in a row. This time he didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, there's no point in bashing your head against the wall.
I don't think somebody in the chat got my joke. Mikan now running Spiral Cave. I don't think we saw this before, so this could be interesting.
I think we did.
Well, it's only Big 20 anyway. DT now going to check the rest of Skull Woods. Now, he doesn't have the big key, so he's going to miss out on that big chest, and he better hope there's nothing in there. But we find red meringue.
Yeah. First boomerang's always a decent find. It's good for hitting switches and makes menuing easier sometimes.
Sometime.
Mikan making their way up the Tower of Hera now, it seems. Are they?
Yeah, he's working his way up there. He's checking out Spectacle Rock Cave as we speak.
He sees that hammer.
He's like, ooh, mine.
Yeah, I'm taking that. So that is the hammer, and we do know where the invincibility item is, so Spike Cave could have something really nice right now.
Yeah, the only downside for Mikan is he does not have half magic right now, so he may not make that play just yet, but sooner or later he'll probably consider it.
Yeah, I don't think even with all the bunny hops in the world you can make it through that cave with just 6 hearts and no invincibility.
Nope. All right, DT now going to make his way over to the Bumper Cave. Give that a quick check. He won't be able to get anything, but having that knowledge is helpful. Nope, just a big 20.
Not even a little tease, not even like a small key. Come on.
Give us something to work with here. It looks like he's going to route his way back over to the village of outcasts, and he's going to start making that trip.
Looks like he was thinking about going to the graveyard or the graveyard ledge, but
I thought so too, but then I saw him turning around. So yeah, he's heading over to the village.
You have Mikan in the basement of Hera. Nice little smoker.
Oh, Titan's bits in the sea house.
Well, there's Dark Death Mountain, potentially Turtle Rock. Doubt you want to go in there with no small keys, but you can.
Yeah, but he is going to check out Thieves Town. Now, he can't check too much because he doesn't have a big key just yet. But he can at least check these first 4 chests and see if those come up with anything. Caladrius is now getting his blue pendant from the Armos Knights. And it looks like DoctorBobtastic not too far behind them there. He's checking the Eastern Palace. So now it's a matter of
very safe here in this basement. Bombosing the mini Moldorms because they had no health.
Yeah, and thankfully he still has enough magic left to fire out these torches. Let's see what Mikan gets for all that waiting. It's a small key to Skull Woods. Not what you hope for. Skull Woods, you really don't need that many keys.
I don't think you even need any small keys from outside locations to complete the dungeon or anything like that.
Now we can now see Lake Highland had a big 20 on it, so that's out of play there. And DT finds a small key to Ganon's Tower. Having one of those isn't too bad early on, but you only need about 1 or 2 of those to get up the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what they got in the chess game. A single rupee and a big 20. Scammed. A lot of scams this seed.
It's a scammy seed. Let's
Ooh,
see if this This cave here is a scam today.
We'll see. Mikan now checking out what I like to call the Prince Cave, artist formerly known as Hype Cave. And we start off with a small key to Misery Mire. Well, that's kind of useless, so like I said earlier. 5 rupees, 300 rupees, 50 rupees, and heart container, trash cave.
Give that like a 2 out of 5. The 300 rupees really brought it up a point, but other than
Not
that,
by much. And also DT found, I think I found 5 rupees in the bombable hut, unfortunately. Caladrius now also making the play up to the Zora area. He has the flippers, so he can go through this and get everything here, including Zora. He has enough money for it.
Okay, so Skull Woods and Swamp Palace are 5-6 crystals. Thanks, Mr. Bombbender.
Yeah, you would normally never check that in other modes, but in Keysanity, it is an invaluable tool to check both Sir Hassela and the Baumhaus to see what those are. We got Ether from the digging game.
Oh boy.
So that's 2 medallions down. We see 50 rupees on the Zora ledge, and it looks like Mikan's going to check out an old Stumpy with DT not too far behind. Ooh, and he's got a small key to Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, the key's not very useful, unfortunately.
Not in this day and age. These guys know their way around using those keys. But let's see what the big fish got. Life lesson, love lesson, or scam, or worth. Oh, it's a scam. Just a compass.
Can't trust merchants in the sea.
No, apparently not. DT now going to take the slow route into the pig cave. And I did not see what Mikan found in the mirror cave.
I think it was just a big 20.
Makes sense. Inside the pig cave we have just 50 rupees.
He's gonna take them though, he needs them.
He hasn't checked Zora yet, so he feels he needs that money, but he is going to be sorely disappointed when he finds out what's waiting for him there. But he has got Jeremiah, so he's going to drop that off and see what the Smiths are working on this time.
If you saw 50 bucks on the ground, you wouldn't just leave that there, right?
Probably not. I mean, maybe a 5 or a 10, I might be a little like, maybe I might, if it's like $1, I'll leave it behind, but anything higher than that, I might consider picking it up.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some counterfeiters over there as we've got a big 20 from the Smiths.
I wonder if DT's gonna mirror. Oh, yeah, the fire on. Never mind. Never mind. He got it already.
Yep. All right, Mikan now heading over to the Dark World over by Kakariko. Will he take the run on Skull Woods? He's got a little bit better health going into it. But other than that, not much else.
It's tough to say. I probably went with 3 hearts and Green Mail myself, but
Caladrius checking out Sick Kid, and there's our Bloomerang. DT now picking up their Bombos medallion.
probably like, oh no, I've got everything for Turtle Rock potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Keys. Gonna have to double dip that, I feel.
And it's gonna be a Penda dungeon. I'm still calling it.
Certainly be right.
Okay, yeah, it's just a big 20 in the Mirror Cave. We got 10 arrow upgrade in the big chest in Skull Wood, so that was unnecessary. All right, so we're not seeing too much we haven't seen already from other runners. This is usually where I like to remind our folks at home, if you guys are enjoying our 4 runners, be sure to give all of them, In the Name of DT, Mikan, DoctorBobtastic, and Caladrius, a follow on Twitch. Show them some support. They're running their butts off for your entertainment, so give them some love.
Could not agree more. Just $50 in that chest, unfortunately. Not a great treasure.
But at least you didn't have to pay anything for it, so I'll take it.
Yeah. It's like those people that find safes in their house, and then they open it up, it's got like, $20 and like some foreign money or something. Nothing good.
right, so at this point, we've got a lot open to us, actually. But, you know, right now,
Wow,
I'd
DT.
say Misery Mire's a good play.
DT's like, no. First chest Swamp Palace. Every time.
Well, it's a bit of a gamble there, but, you know, we've got Hook Shot, we've got Cane of Samaria, we've got the big key for Mire. I'd say that'd be a good place to check for items.
That first chest not being a jackpot today, just a heart containing, which is okay, but not probably what you want to see.
He was just checking that because he was already going to be there, and he hasn't done the South Shore yet, so he routed in, which is actually really good routing, all things considered.
Yeah, that's probably the most efficient time to check the first chest in Swamp if you're going to check it without completing the dungeon.
Both Dr. Bob and Caladrius doing their basement runs in Tower of Hera, while Mikan working his way up to the back end of Skull Woods. Let's see if he has any better luck with Mothula as opposed to what DT dealt with earlier.
Yeah, not to jinx them, but they actually had a really amazing Mothula fight in their last tournament race, so maybe. We got a sink on the bottom.
It's very rare to see that in Keysanity these days, so appreciate what you can, folks.
Just calling truce for a good 30 seconds.
Nice coffee break stretch there for Caladrius. But again, all they're going to get out is a small key to Skull Woods, not what they're hoping for there.
Oh, really nice. Mikan knocks the Gibdo into the spike to make killing it easier, while preserving their magic.
Yeah. To answer your question in chat, why is BugNet not on the tracker? Well, we had to make room for Ganon's Tower to mark when we have the big key and whatever small keys we find for it. And since, being completely honest, as much as we all love our SwagNet strats, the BugNet has no legit usefulness. It was the one thing we could afford to to take off the tracker. Oh, we found a small key to Turtle Rock and Spike Cave there on DoctorBobtastic's side.
Oh, that could be important, actually.
Yeah, certainly not a bad thing. Certainly not the worst thing you can find in there, considering how much of a pain it is to get through Spike Cave.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Mikan. Oh, man.
Oh, Mothula is out for blood today.
That was really close, but getting sniped. Never a good feeling.
No. To answer another question in chat, Flute was in Eastern Palace.
DT making really good use of the smear here to route in Hobo the easy way.
A lot of good routing calls here by DT. I mean, he's not finding much out of it, but he's being very efficient. And sometimes that can make up for a bad gamble every once in a while. It's just a good efficiency. It's like I've always said, when it comes to these randomizer races, the way to win is about what routes do you take, what gambles do you make, and which pay off. Any one of those can make up for the rest.
Oh, absolutely.
But DT now going to head over to the pyramid as Mikan going round 2 with Mothula. Let's hope he has a little bit better luck this time. It's not looking good to start things off, unfortunately.
This fight is really hard, despite how easy people make it look sometimes.
Indeed. Ooh, we have Blue Male hiding up here on the pyramid. DT's like, yes, I'm definitely going to pick that up, given how Mothula fight went earlier.
Definitely a good idea to pick up males. At least blue male. I mean, if red male's in like an inconvenient spot, then say whatever. But blue male's really useful.
Yep. Mikan now being very careful with his Mothula fight, but he gets it in round 2, so he's definitely off to a better start. Let's see. And they drop just a 5-arrow upgrade, but they get their first crystal of the race.
Yeah. That is one of the 5-6 crystals, so it's pretty good. We have DT come up here to catfish. See if the other fish is a scam as well.
And actually, once again, here's another sign of efficiency. DT has not been up to Zora, but he has the means to do so. So he can immediately, once he checks Catfish, he can immediately mirror over, and he's setting up for it now to check Waterfall and Zora. So this actually works out really good for him. Let's see if the Catfish gives us anything, and it is just a big 20.
At least you have to pay for it, I guess, is the takeaway there.
No, but he's going to be paying for it once he goes to Zora, that's for sure. All right, so let's see where everyone's going. Yes, Lumberjack has been checked. Nothing there. Just a compass, unfortunately.
Okay, so Mikan is opting to do this Graveyard Ledge check.
This is one of those spots that that a lot of runners will often forget about unless they have the means to check both it and King's Tomb. And then, but yet when you don't check it, it often has something. So let's see if Mikan gets lucky here.
Mm-hmm. And if they could probably route this in with the Catfish and Zora area as well. So this is actually
That's
really
very
good.
true. All right, and we find, ooh, it's a small key to Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock small keys are actually been really scarce, so that could come into play very shortly.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about scarcity and keys, you know what dungeon we haven't found any keys for yet after almost 40 minutes now? We have not found a single pod key.
That is weird. That is really, really weird.
Yeah. Like, that's weird. You figured we would have at least found one by now.
Are all the pod keys in the vanilla locations?
Oh, that would be so cruel if it was.
Oh boy, if that is the case, I'm going out and buying a lottery ticket here after the service. I guess it's possible that pod is a pendant and all the small keys to it could be in Ganon's tower. I guess that's a thing that can happen.
To be fair, I think our runners would appreciate that, because pod's one of those difficult dungeons to do until you have all the keys for it.
Yeah, it's really hard to route that properly. And you don't want to have to dip it multiple times. It's just like the worst.
All right, Caladrius getting their crystal from Mothula there, nicely done.
Making good use of that half magic to just annihilate Mothula with artillery fire.
DT now getting their bloomerang from the sick kid.
Probably less than thrilled, considering they already have a red one.
It's never fun. All right. We do apologize for the screen freezing up. We honestly, even Feasel doesn't know what's going on here, so well, once we get back up, we'll get an idea of what's going on here. Sounds like one of our runners is in a dungeon right now, but I don't know which one.
And there's no way to tell because the music's randomized too.
Exactly. All right, there we go. Starting to get a picture back here. It looks like DT's over in back in Skull Woods trying to take on Mothula again. Don't know what the rest of our runner. It looks like Mikan's doing to pick up the Froggy.
They're probably doing
And
all the black.
Caladrius is over in the village. There we go. Exactly, Phantom Ryu. The Keysanity hype just crashed Twitch.
DT's back. He's got his big boy pants. They're blue. Once
Yeah,
another go with the build man.
He's feeling a little more confident now. Speaking of the blue mail, DoctorBobtastic is about to find his blue mail over here in the pyramid.
Probably will change into a color that's not blue inexplicably. Now he's green. Can't explain that. Yeah, that was a much easier fight for DT this time.
Yeah, he's probably relieved that that's over with after what happened earlier.
Oh, definitely. Real satisfying just to come back and say, no, now I'm the boss.
Let's see, Dr. Bob now picking up some blue potions over here from the potion shop and wants to make sure he's got some safeties there. Never a bad call.
If you're up here, you got some money, might as well.
Oh, and Mikan is making the play on the Meyer area. We're going to have to find out if we have the medallions for it, and more importantly, if Misery Meyer is got anything good. We know it's a crystal dungeon, thanks we found the map earlier, so Misery Meyer is going to be one of our crystals.
And this could be just on the logic, yeah. There's Ether. We know where the lamp is.
So it's accessible.
Could go kill Vitreous right now.
Yeah, certainly a possibility. Let's see what we find here in the Myers shack. And we get 50 rupees and triple bombs.
Sadly, Mikan did not do what I thought, which was going to be right in the Zora area with the graveyard check. So they don't have the lamp right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. So they'll have to do the dark areas without it. He's going to check the desert ledge. Let's see what small key this is. It's for Swamp Palace. Ooh, that's actually really helpful. Swamp Palace being one of our 5-6 crystals. Definitely not a bad idea. He's going to go ahead and check the rest of desert now. You won't be able to check too much because we don't have either of the keys for it. But we can at least check what's on the torch and to see if boots are required. And we can at least check the one chest there.
Mm-hmm. They could steal a key from the back, and they have been known to do that, but I don't know if they will. It's really risky.
It's a bit of a gamble to do that. If we find a compass on the torch, so that's not getting picked up. So what's here in this other chest? Das Boots! Whoa. What are those?
Sweet kicks, dude. Jesus.
Nice. Yeah, it was funny. The last race I calmed last night, boots were on the pedestal, so this definitely is not something we want to see happen again. And just a 5-bomb upgrade there in the checkerboard cave. And
okay,
DT, why are you going to pod?
He's just a gambling man, I swear. First the swamp, first chest. Now they're going to buy with no keys.
What are you doing?
Put it all in black one. Go.
I mean, there's taking a gamble. I get taking a gamble. Sometimes you got to gamble every once in a while. Okay, he's going into Eastern. Okay. He hasn't done this yet. But you know he's going to go check pod when he gets the chance.
Oh, sure. Certainly, yes.
You don't set something like that up without doing it.
Yeah. I mean, when he hasn't checked Eastern. So I guess this makes more sense. This is more like reasonable. I'm not about to like call the gambling addiction hotline and report him.
Oh, we got a bonk rock check here. Oh, there's one of our single rupees there for Mikan. So Mikan opted not to go into Mire for finishing up Desert. Bit of a surprise there. He has the means to full clear it, but he is going to check everywhere else. He's actually going to head over to the King's Tomb here.
It's possible they just want to find the lamp before they dedicate themselves to finishing Mire.
Yeah, it's possible. We found the compass for Turtle Rock. Once he does Zora, he'll find that lamp, and Mire will look a lot more pleasant for him.
Swamp looks like what is on their mind right now, and it's hard to blame them.
They've got the key for it now, and it is one of the 5-6 crystals. Oh, no, they didn't get the... Yeah, they got the key for that.
And it leads to some really good routing for them as well, because they haven't checked Escape. They could do that while they check the Pyramid Ferry.
Ah, good point. Plus, they're going to be... And plus, going over the pyramid, this means they'll also be able to get that blue mail that they've got waiting for them over there.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see where everyone else is going right now. Looks like Bob working his way through Skull Woods. Caladrius, he's checking out the bomb house to see where the 5-6 crystals are, as Mikan makes his way into Swamp Palace. Answer question in chat. No, we do not know what's on the pedestal just yet. We are still waiting for that information.
Quite a few things it could be that would be relevant, I feel.
Yep. And we don't know what pendants or what yet. We've got a map to Skull Woods. Well, that's kind of useless. We've already completed that dungeon.
Yeah, we know even know what number crystal it is. Not too useful. The only thing in here that will actually evade Mikan is the big chest. Unless the big key is in here, in which case, yay.
We have not found it yet. That's always a possibility. Question in chat. Mitts were found in with the 2 gloves were on Uncle and in the Sea House in Village of Outcast. Chat was calling Master Sword on the pedestal. Oh, why you guys got to be so boring, huh? Vanilla sword on pedestal, come on.
I think we'd have to save the thing if that happened.
All right, DT picks up his pendant there, and we've got big key to Ice Palace.
Well, that's okay.
Not exactly useful overall, but at least now the big chest is in play there, so if we can full clear Ice Palace once we get through that.
Yeah, the big chest in Ice Palace is the other big chest that can be like really stressful to skip, so it's really good to find that.
And as we suspected, DT is going to at least check the first chest here in Pod to see what he finds.
Big 20 probably. Let's see.
Yep. Next worst thing there, piece of heart.
I guess he has a few other things. Just have the bow, I guess.
That's true. He can check a little further in, so it's not a complete waste of time to go in here. We'll see if it pays off for him. Caladrius now in the Mire area. He's going to see that he can get into Mire. Will he actually make that play once he gets through the checkerboard cave and everywhere else? Dr. Bob now working on Mothula, and he had to use one of his blue potions. Now he's definitely not regretting those purchases. He probably would not survive this fight without it. All right, Mikan now checking left side. DT now finding the heading up through pod. Ooh, we got a map to pod in Swamp Palace.
Getting a really close fight from DoctorBobtastic there.
And a small key to desert.
That is quite interesting.
That allows him to access those 2 chests there on the right side. We'll see if see if he decides to go back there later once he eventually goes into Mire.
Yeah, I think he probably will if he's still looking for items, because that's like a really quick 2 items to check. There's a vanilla pod key, by the way.
Oh, indeed. That gives him one more place to check. He's going to head down here to check this chest, and then he's got a decision to make. Is he going to the back, or does he take the gamble on the floating area, that center chest there? All right, Caladrius now working on Desert Palace. Dr. Bob sees the big 20 there on the bumper cave. Well, let's see what Mikan finds as he checks the back end of Swamp. We have Piece of Heart and B-Torp.
Well, the B is obviously an essential item, so.
And another Piece of Heart gives him an extra heart container as he heads up to Argus. Let's see what item he drops along with the crystal.
Could opt to do spin strats with the fire sword. Could opt to menu boss it.
That's the question. Yeah, is he going to be fire sword spin strats, or are we going to be looking at Menu Simulator 2018? DT now working his way to the back. He'll probably be doing the infamous hammer yump here soon.
Opting for the spin strats, which I agree with. They're more fun, in my opinion.
You know what you're doing. All right, 5 bomb upgrade and 10 arrows downstairs here for DT. Not what he was hoping for. He needs some worth. He wants to make sure this wasn't a waste of his time. But he did also find the Fisher Price shield in there as well. I just noticed that.
The shields
right.
of
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say shields of, you know, some worth, sometimes not really. Depends, but I guess he has a pod big here. Oh,
no, he doesn't, but he can check those other 2 chests. That's why he's going to do. He got his hammer yump there. And see if he finds anything of worth. We've got big key vanilla.
Oh my
dungeon.
god.
Hey, DT, you want to check that big chest now?
Oh my god. Spoke too soon.
Mally, I believe you have now suffered a case of what I like to call foot-in-mouth disease.
Yeah, but he didn't check it. He didn't check the big chest. He's crazy.
DT, what are you doing?
He's crazy.
Dang it! He's gonna regret that when he realizes he could have checked that chest.
Oh boy.
He better hope there's nothing in there.
He better seriously.
I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Oh boy. Well, while we were freaking about that, Mikan finished Swamp Palace, and they're heading up to get their big bomb.
Now, Minster, you say that, but this is Randomizer. You know that one time you don't check something is the one time it actually does have something. There's our link to the past national anthem there for DT as the goose is loose for him. And indeed, Mikan got his big bomb heading up to the Pyramid Ferry. He's got his blue mail already. But let's see what those 2 chests are hiding.
I would like to see a sword here, honestly.
That'd be interesting. Now DT up in the mire area.
Oh, they must have found another male in Swamp Palace.
Oh, they did. They've got red nail now.
Yeah, definitely take that. That's super easy to get.
The heck?
Somebody else must have bombed the pyramid today.
Yeah. Let's see what we find in here. A piece of heart and a small key to cast Aga Tower key. Now, that actually could come into play. We can't get in there just yet, but there could be items in the Aga Tower since that's now part of the logic. So you never know. In fact, I think he was considering making the attempt, but he doesn't have a Master Sword or a cape, so he can't get in there yet.
Yeah, opting to check the front half of escape as well.
And it looks like DT will be the first one to make the play into Misery Mire. This could be interesting. We'll see what we find here.
He can complete lives here too, if he feels like it. And DoctorBobtastic making his way through the little quest chain for the blacksmith.
Not gonna find much there, unfortunately. And there's the map to Ice Palace there in the sewers.
I mean, I guess that's still relevant information until we know what the last planet is.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't know what's in Desert, Pod, Thieves, or Ice Palace yet, so that map could come in handy. Let's see what DT finds here as he goes through. Heart container there. Not quite what we need, though. Every little bit of health counts. Okay, did not see what DT got there just now, but don't think it was much.
3 bombs.
3 bombs, didn't think so. So we got a lot of divergent paths here going on. DT now working on Misery Mire, Mikan heading down to the dungeon, Dr. Bob heading over to the Mire Shack, and Caladrius just working his way to the left side of Swamp. Answer a question in chat. The boots were found in Desert Palace. And Vanilbix just has... Oh, it's the map to Hyrule Castle.
I wonder if that's required or not. Which Pinida crystal is in there? Now, I don't know. I don't think DT checked all the chests, but he is on his way to Vitreous. No, he's gonna shut over here. Does this say the key? No, is it? No, just 300 rupees. A little worried there. No, he's just getting that chest and working the other way around, which is not a bad way to route it. Okay, I see what he's doing here. Yeah, that's probably faster than just walking over there. Mikan heading over here to the Zora area. Gonna be probably hot on DT's trails once they get that lamp. Yep. Oop, there's a pod key. Now he's gonna check out the big chest here. And he gets a small key to Skull Woods. Not needed. Pretty disappointing Mire so far. Pretty much.
He's forced to use one of his blue potions because he was running dangerously low health. There's a red shield.
Red shield blocks fireballs at least.
Yeah. So now DT's going to make his way up to Vitreous. Thankfully, he is in perfect shape for this. The only thing that would make this better is if he had silver arrows, because then it's just a complete joke trying to fight this guy.
He only has 20 arrows.
Ooh, Dr. Bob taking a death there in Misery Mire. Not good.
This can be a pretty tough dungeon. As all Dark World dungeons can be.
Oh, of course. And I do agree in chat. I think after this, I think Turtle Rock is very high up on the menu in terms of what they could potentially do, because they have the means to clear it at this point.
Oh.
And it would work out in the long run, but we'll see. We'll see what our winners decide to do once they finish where they're going now.
I was a little worried for Mikan because they went to Hobo instead of the Zora area and then fluted. But they fluted to 8 and came right back here, so this is really good for them.
Yep, they got their lamp now.
I mean, if they left right now, that would be great, because they could save 500 rupees, but, I mean, you can't do that.
No, you have to check. Even if you're certain there's nothing there, if you're here, you're checking it.
Yeah, absolutely. You must pay the toll.
All right, DT now working on Vitreous. Gonna use bomb strats. This is something you don't see very often.
Nope. I don't think he has a choice, though, because he doesn't have many arrows, so...
He's saving his arrows for the big ball, for the big eyeball.
Yeah. And it makes sense using it before the bow if you're going to use some small eyeballs, because if this clears them out, it hits more with bombs first, obviously. They're really tough, though.
Yeah, you notice he has barely killed any of them yet using that.
My eyeballs cannot survive one bomb, so that just goes to show you.
Now he's down to 3. Now he's going to start using his arrows. Nicely done. And just as Mikan's entering here, big 20 for DT, and he gets his next crystal. That gives it. Actually, that's his first crystal.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, it's his second. Whoever's tracking, we may want to change the Skull Woods thing because that's supposed to be crystal. That's supposed to be a crystal.
Mm-hmm. Mikan not doing the bird toss, but leaving the bird a bomb and then mirroring. Well, DT's gonna be mad when they come in here and find the boots, I feel. Like, why didn't I do this first?
And yeah, chat, pointing out, Fighter Sword Vitreous, not an easy thing to do. I've seen that before, and it's not fun. Oh, and there's Master Sword in Desert Palace for Mikan.
Oh, there we go. It's Aghanim Tower access.
And worse yet for DT is he does not have the key needed to get to that. So he's going to go without it as he gets his boots.
Yeah, that's in Swamp Palace, I believe. So gonna be a little bit. And yeah, with this lamp, Mikan's coming in here to clear this up.
It's not going to find much here aside from maybe a couple a pod key or two.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a crystal, so you've got to do it.
Yep. DoctorBobtastic also in Mire, while Caladrius is about to go bomb the pyramid.
Now, looking at our trackers here, in terms of items, we are essentially in a Schrodinger's go mode, depending on whether or not Turtle Rock is a pendant or crystal and what medallion may be required for it. But other than that, we have everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks like DT coming to Dark Death Mountain.
Yep, he's gonna check Super Bunny Cave, Hookshot Cave, and then he's probably gonna make his way into Turtle Rock. All right, let's see what we find here in the Super Bunny Cave. We find 300 rupees and a small key to pod.
Well, with every small key to pod we find, the big chest being in the logic's getting more and more common, but I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure he won't regret missing that.
Can hope not. All right, he's gonna check first to see if this is what medallion it is. It is Ether. So once he finishes up Hookshot Cave, he will be able to go into Turtle Rock. And that means, again, in terms of items, we are now officially in go mode. We still aren't in full go mode because we're still missing quite a few keys. But in terms of items, we're there. All right, DT opting not to grab that small key off the floating island here. And what is he doing?
I think he's digging for bombs.
Ah, fair point.
There we go.
Hey, you got a 4-pack. Can't ask for better than that. Okay, never mind. That's why he couldn't get the small key back there, because he didn't have the bombs for it. But he does now. All right. So DT now finishing up here. And this small key is for Ice Palace.
Not really required on this play level, but good for routing.
And he is opting not to go to Turtle Rock. Instead, he is going over back to Desert. What?
DT is a strange and mysterious entity. Mikan opting to do dash strats with the Master Sword and Burna.
Nah, not a bad way to go about it. Bit risky, but with as much health as he has, plus red mail, he's having no trouble. Plus, he's got the key to Burna, which is working out for him on that one.
Yeah, and half magic makes it last a lot longer, as you can see. He's probably made like 20 laps by now. And they're still gone. They're all gone now.
I almost wiped them all out in one. That last sweep almost wiped them all out at once.
Alright, well that's Mikan's third crystal.
Yeah, I'd say Mikan's got a bit of a small lead right now. Not a super large one. But that little lead can build up over time.
DT's maybe 5 minutes behind at most. He's gonna go into Swamp here and get his Desert Small Key, and then he'll have Master Sword and all that good stuff.
All right, it looks like it might be Caladrius who's the first one to go into Turtle Rock. He's heading up that way now.
Okay, pot is a crystal.
Okay, so it's down to Turtle Rock, Desert Palace, and Thieves Town. Which one's our last pendant?
Well, you called it a long time ago, right?
Turtle Rock? You think it's Turtle Rock?
Probably.
Well, maybe we'll find out now as Caladrius is working his way into Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, Mikan starting his play on Ice Palace, which we know is a crystal, so certainly not a bad call to make.
No. I think they have the big key for this, even though it's not reflected on tracker. I think they do.
Well, we'll see here soon enough. Caladrius now working his way through. Piece of heart there for Mikan. And it looks like Dr. Bob is following Caladrius' example. He's heading into Turtle Rock now.
Yeah, he has actually some more Turtle Rock keys, apparently, than Caladrius has, so this could be good for him.
That could play it for him. When we find a map to desert, we can now find out if desert is one of our crystals or pendants.
Bob. Oh.
All right, time for Mikan to do the infamous Ice Palace bomb jump. I've always said if you're going to get into speedrunning Link to the Past in any capacity, regardless if randomized or not, this is the one bomb jump you want to learn first.
Yep. Can be tricky even if you know all the specifics, but it gets it second try.
Oh, Caladrius finds the big key to desert. So now that we have that map, that could come into play later.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, so who's going to be find the next big play here? So let's see. We've got the big key. We need the big key to Thieves. If that ends up being a crystal dungeon, and I think that's just about everything, really. Oh, we need the big key to Pod too.
And we need the GT big key as well.
True. Unless, of course, that's in Ganon's tower, which I'm sure these runners would like to avoid that fate.
I mean, I'd look for pedestal. On pedestal for in GT, I think.
Well, the problem is that, yeah, what happens if you don't have a way to check it?
That's going to be a problem, right?
Exactly.
Could be book and pedestal.
Oh, the paradox pedestal.
That's the meanest one.
I've seen it happen. It's again, it's a hilarious, it's a laugh for us, but it's a pain in the butt for them. Oh, and it looks like Caladrius dipped out of Turtle Rock. I don't know what he found or what he didn't find.
Well, he did find the big key to Desert Palace.
So he's gonna check that out. Speaking of big keys, Mikan finding the big key to Swamp. Not quite useful, but may come back for that later. And also finds the compass to GT hiding out in Ice Palace.
In case you miscount your chests in GT somehow, if you actually check items in GT.
Well, again, if the big key is in Ganon's tower, that could still come into play.
Yeah.
All right, and he also finds there's another pod key. That's always useful. All right, Mikan gonna head downstairs here. He's gonna check this big chest. Nicely done. He finds just a 5-bomb upgrade.
Nothing exciting, unfortunately, but it's a load off his mind, I'm sure.
Indeed. So it's always nice that you don't have to come back to that later. And I think he's still got one last chest to check. He's gonna go check that one chest in Ice Palace that nobody likes to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Caladrius is gonna check the big chest here in Desert. I'm gonna see if that has anything here. And just a piece of heart, unfortunately.
All the big chests, not really being good.
Nope, and just triple bombs for Mikan, so that's aside from all that's left for him is Cold Stare. He's not... Ice Palace being a bit of a bust overall. I mean, we've gotten quite a few pod keys for sure, but that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a crystal, so this is all unavoidable anyway, but nothing exciting. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you find, like, every item in the first 45 minutes.
It's like I said before, you know, if you get a lot of items early on, that's when the trolling starts.
Mm-hmm. Caladrius got his Master Sword.
Yeah, Caladrius has got that. And Dr. Bob going to check a little further here into Turtle Rock. See if he finds anything that Caladrius missed earlier. As Mikan starts his fight with Cold Stare.
Yeah, I don't think Cold Stare stands a chance, honestly.
No, not really. He's got Red Nail. I mean, he's only got Master Sword, but with the Fire Rod, Hammer, and Red Nail, with as many hearts as he has, this shouldn't be too difficult for him.
Yep.
He just wipes the floor with that Fire Rod. And only gets 5 rupees for survival. I did not see what Dr. Bob got over in the Vanilla Big Key chest in Turtle Rock, unfortunately. But Caladrius now working on Land Molus. Let's see if he has any better luck here.
Oh, man. Sometimes that bomb in the laser room bounces off the wall, just enough to be out of range to blow up the wall. It's really annoying.
Indeed. Caladrius, fetching off Land Molus, gets a map to GT. Well, that's kind of useless.
GT. Is that going to be required?
And we now know Desert Palace was a crystal. So it's down to Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. Which one is the pendant? Which one is the crystal? Got another small key to GT. And apparently, okay, so Dr. Bob did not check that one chest in Turtle Rock, so we still don't know what that is. Ooh, and Mikan making the play on Agate Tower now. He's got the one key, so he can check both chests. Dr. Bob finding a triple bomb pack there in Turtle Rock in the big chest. As Caladrius is now working his way through Misery Mire.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Silver arrows.
Oh, ho, ho, we've got silvers! That is probably a weight off Mikan's mind, considering we still haven't found any other swords. You do not want to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon. It's never fun.
Absolutely not. Okay, well, Silver's made that worth it, I feel.
Oh, absolutely. There's no complaints about those. As Dr. Bob not finding much here on his way, he's just got Laser Bridge left. He could technically skip it, but considering we're still looking for stuff, I would probably at least check it.
Oh, definitely.
Because we still don't have the big key to pod. We still don't have the GT big key. And that's pretty much all we're really missing at this point.
I might just stop to kill Trinex.
We'll see. Oh, we also need a big key to Thieves Town. Thinking about it.
Yep, the cells are locked by the big key and the big chest, but still required.
All right, let's see what Dr. Bob finds here on Laser Bridge. He's gonna make sure he's got his wand out, got his cane of Brian out. First up, we find Big 20. Second up, There's our third shield upgrade. So I think DT, when he eventually gets there, will have mirror shield. We've got a compass. I didn't see where to, but it really doesn't matter. And a piece of heart.
Eastern Palace, that's so useful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A million years ago.
And it looks like Mikan now also making the play on the Turtle Rocket last. He knows he's got to do it at some point. Now all that remains is to see what Trinex has hiding on him. Now here we probably will see some menu transitions for Dr. Bob, since he still only has Fighter Sword. He's going to have to switch between his rods and his hammer to do some good damage on Trinex.
Yeah, definitely. Thank goodness he has that half magic.
That is going to help. Having a little bit of trouble there with Trinex. Didn't quite freeze that head in time, or freeze the head in time, but he's onto it. Now he's got to work on the other one. And oh, there he goes. Oh, got a few shots with the fire rod in there.
Yeah, that can be. Go ahead.
I think you and I are saying the same thing. Yeah, you can use the fire rod aside from just freezing it. You can actually damage it with a fire rod. You can't do that with the other head for some reason, but you can do it with this one.
Yeah, Ice Rod only does damage to certain enemies. It's really weird.
But he takes down both heads onto the main body here. It's going to be tricky to do. He probably won't be able to get the quick kill because that's tricky to do with the hammer. Oh, no! He takes a death!
Oh, that...
Thankfully, he did exit and re-enter over by Laser Bridge, so he won't have to go very far to get back to it. But, oh, that's never fun.
Yeah, that's really rough. He got the head bonk too, so that was looking good, but Trinex will get you.
Yep. Even though he's got blue mail, it's still a tricky fight. He needs even with Master Sword, it wouldn't be much better. You need to have Tempered Sword.
He's actually missing 4 hearts on his opponent, so that makes it worse as well. I think he just wasn't expecting to get hit there, because I think he has a potion. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's see if he does better in round 2 here. In the meantime, DT searching through Ice Palace. Now, I believe he did complete Swamp Palace, but we need to get the Shadow Sword trackers. We need to get that updated there.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
Shadow Sword trackers, Dragon Strike 1988, and Movalin Drone. I hope I'm saying that right. Dr. Bob already starting to do a little bit better on this run here. All right, now he needs to be a little more careful here and hope he doesn't take too many hits from the main body.
He's just saying, I'm going to heal.
Probably not a bad idea. Don't want to make that mistake again.
Definitely not.
Caladrius now working on Vitrius using the same strats that I believe Mikan did earlier.
Burn, burn. Right through the eyeballs. And there we go, Bob. Takes down Trenex.
Alright, what does the snake drop for us this time? He drops just 10 arrows, but he does get a crystal, which means the last pendant is in Thieves Town.
Huh.
So, looking at our trackers here, right now DT is missing the Desert Palace big key for go mode. Mikan, actually, yeah, no, Mikan's missing the big key for pod for go mode. DT's the only one who's got the big key for pod.
Yep. Big key to pod, of course. In pod, where else would it be?
Yep. That might throw them off from that for a while, unfortunately.
DT's opting to go back into pod at this point.
He's got 4 keys now. He's got the means to full clear it. And since we know it's a crystal dungeon, this is not a bad call to make.
Not at all.
And of course, the big question is, where is the Ganon Tower big key? We still have not found that yet. And that could be anywhere.
Be anywhere. Even GT.
Yes.
Yeah, Mikan won't be able to finish this. I'm not sure where the other Turtle Rock small keys are, but if they're in the light world, they could get back here really, really quickly. But you don't.
He's counting. Yeah. He's counting on that key being on Laser Bridge, which we know it's not. So yeah, he's pretty much he's unfortunately going to be wasting his time.
On the plus side, Turtle Rock, not the hardest dungeon to get back here, even if you're going in the front. Usually, what stalls you out is all that checking, like the center area and such.
All right, let's see what DT finds here. He's going to check the rest of pod. Looks like Mikan's going to make the play on Desert. Oh, we found another pod small key in pod.
Even in Keysanity, you can't avoid getting small keys to pod and pod.
I wouldn't say is this even random. I would say is this even Keysanity? I think is the better question for this particular race.
He's gonna see that big chest, be like, "Oh, I forgot that, didn't I?"
Yeah. If it has the GT big key, I'm gonna laugh.
That would be hilarious.
It would, considering he left that behind so long ago. We find a small key. There's another small key for Turtle Rock. DT, are you? I was gonna say, is he ignoring the big key? I was about to call him out on that. No, he's going around because he wants to do the bomb yump one more time to avoid spending that other small key he's got. He needs to save that one for Helmasaur.
Rare you see people do this twice. It's big 20.
Ah, just a big 20. Mikan now working on Land Molus as both Caladrius and Dr. Bob pretty close to each other here, working their way through Ice Palace. In fact, a little bit of high five action there.
Ganon got the 0 cycle with silver arrows. Really nice.
Oh, always nice.
Yeah, and the closer that DT gets to actually like being in go mode, the higher chance he's gonna have of missing those silvers. Especially because he hasn't found Master Sword yet or a cape.
Yeah. For those who are asking, yeah, silvers were indeed in the first chest in Aga Tower. Not something a lot of runners are going to be checking if they can avoid it. So that could be big for Mikan because he's already well on his way to getting into go mode. In fact, he's making his way to pod, which we at this point pretty much know he's going to be able to full clear because there's 2 keys for pod in pod on top of the big key itself. So
Yeah,
that's going to be a big play for him.
And I do know they have been practicing the hammer jump, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, you say that.
Shouldn't be.
All right, DT now taking on the Helmstar King. 17 whacks with a hammer, and I think it's like 5 or 6 hits with the bow, and down goes the lizard.
I like that.
Oh, instead he's opting to use hammer strats on it. That's a bit of a tricky play, but he's got blue mail, so it's not gonna be too difficult.
Yeah, I might be wanting to conserve his resources.
Understandable there, but he takes him down. Let's see what the big lizard drops for him this time. And it's a sword upgrade.
Oh boy.
Once he eventually goes back to, once he finds the key to desert and gets the other one, he'll have tempered sword. So that's pretty good for him. Caladrius now working on Cold Stare.
Okay, yes, DT does have red mail. It's really hard to tell though because he's negative link.
Yeah, it's very true. All right, Caladrius getting his crystal there from Cold Stare. Ice Pal's complete for him.
Bob should be making his way there before long. It's just a few rooms away.
Now it looks like Caladrius is going to be making his way over to pod.
Yep, not a bad idea. It's got quite a few keys for it. We'll pay off.
Looks like DT made his way into Aga Tower, so he has his silver arrows now.
Oh, that's very interesting. That evens things up a bit. Mikan will have tempered after they finish pod. But DT could get tempered as well if he goes to desert, injects the chest
Oh,
there.
ladies and gentlemen, we just got some unfortunate news. It looks like the power went out in Mikan's place.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
He just brought it up here in the SRL channel.
Oh no. Oh, and that's before they even got their Master Sword? Oh my god.
Oh, that's a huge loss. Ouch.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You can't recover from that.
Yeah, there's no way.
I mean, if he had just recently saved, he might have been okay. But yeah, he lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a case of press F to pay respects on that one. That's a loss you don't want.
Yeah, that's...
You know?
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't remember where everything is. And Caladrius is having some troubles too on his end, but it looks like it's just more connection issues.
And that was such a good race too.
It
they were really, really
was.
close.
Yeah, he's lost 3 whole crystals apparently.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess if he skips chests that have nothing in them, he could make up some time that way. But that's so hard to keep track of in your head.
It is.
Yeah.
I think part of him is debating whether or not he should even try to continue.
Yeah. Probably going over the memory.
Oh yeah, and Chap pointing out he also lost his silvers.
That's
For those just tuning in, what we had here was that Mikan, while having a pretty small but pretty sizable lead, unfortunately just had a power outage and lost several, at least a good solid 20 minutes worth of work. Maybe even more. Oh. Yeah, he's even putting the message out on stream, letting everyone know what happened there. You know, it's one thing to lose to somebody who just had better routing or a better player overall. It's another when you lose just to something completely beyond your control.
Yeah, that's the worst. Because you can always learn from your losses and improve that way, but I mean, if your power goes out or your internet just decides, nope, not today, that's always
even
really
if your internet goes out, you know, you can still complete the race and potentially win. But here, when you have the power outage, that's just the absolute worst because you can't recover from that.
Yeah, you can't record when your power's out, obviously, even if you're offline. Yeah, and I don't think DT's aware because they probably don't look at IRC while they're racing. Oh, DT is aware? Oh, I see.
Ah. Yeah, Mikan is contemplating whether or not he wants to forfeit at this point. He's not sure yet.
I mean, I wouldn't blame them at all, because that is really frustrating, and I don't think it'll have an impact on the results at this point.
No, the amount of time lost that it would do to your standings would pretty much be the same no matter what.
Yeah, you'll be basically banking that DT's power is about to go out too, which is not likely.
Yeah, that's the only hope that Mikan has is if both their powers go out and they both have to forfeit. But you don't. Even then, I think DT probably has saved at least once since this recently, so he probably is a little bit further ahead no matter what.
Okay, how are our other two racers doing? We have Caladrius going through Pod, and Bob is making his way through Swamp now.
Yep. Yeah, Dr. Bob having a slight lead since he's done Turtle Rock and Desert Palace. So he's got a bit of a lead going in here. And once he completes Swamp, he'll be able to, he'll have a little bit more of a lead going in. Though, Caladrius doing Pod might give him some advantage, might get him some chance to catch up if he does it right. All right, DT now working his way up Turtle Rock. Gonna be finding that Desert Palace key there. As Caladrius is working his way over to Helmisar King. All right, looks like Mikan's going to at least try to press on, see if he can have some hope of some miracle of catching up, but I think even he knows that's not going to happen.
That would be quite the story if something did happen that let them caught up, but
And I just realized, ladies and gentlemen, as far as in the name of DT goes, check your watches. Because I will, if you look at your watches, you might see that as far as DT is concerned, it's Gomo time.
did he find the big key to GT?
Oh, good point. But considering the fact that that could also be in Ganon's Tower, that's about as close to Go mode as you can get.
Yeah, I would say so. And then it turns out this is actually like a 3-hour-long scene where the GT big key's like this ridiculous item chain.
Okay, I'm gonna call it now. Trolliest chain you can do. Paradox pedestal. Mushroom or powder to the other, and whatever's left has the GT big key.
Oh boy. And then finding all the other keys you need in between for the pendant dungeons.
Exactly.
Love it.
All right, Mikan says he's gonna keep playing until DT finishes. He's at least gonna go as far as he can go. Which, hey, you know what? Props to him. That's more than I would do.
Yeah, definitely. It's super tempting at that point to say, well, you know, I can't win. I'm just gonna go do something else and then like try and cool off. But persevering is really praiseworthy.
It's what makes these runners as awesome as they are. Again, that's far more than I would have forfeited if this were me. So the fact that he's at least willing to keep going until then, he's a bigger man than I am. But yeah, there would definitely once DT does inevitably finish, there's no shame if Mikan forfeits. This was beyond his control. And for those who are still asking, Mikan had a power outage, and unfortunately he had not saved in a while, so he was sent back quite a ways. All right, so DT now working his way up to Trinex as we speak. Caladrius now also entering Turtle Rock as Dr. Bob is getting ready to take on Argus over here in Swamp.
This is Caladrius' second dip into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, as the goalie man points out, is the only way we could really recover this is if both runners agreed to a rematch, and it would have to be pretty immediate because we're in the Swift stages right now. We really don't have the time and the ability to add another race on without doing it immediately. So it's kind of one of those deals that it's now or never, basically.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate. If this were later, like in the tournament, maybe that could happen, but for Swiss, it's not very likely.
Now, the good news is if I recall correctly, Mikan's 2-0, so this doesn't completely remove him from the tournament. He still has a chance to recover from this and move on to the bracket stages, but you know, you'd rather not have to take that risk for something that wasn't your fault.
Definitely.
And I think that's the only reason DT is not going to give him a rematch, because he knows it's not necessary. He can still recover from this. Otherwise, I'm sure he would consider the idea out of respect.
Yeah, and I mean, even if this is a loss and Mikan goes 4-1, I think I would be pretty happy with that record if it were me, just because I know my one loss wasn't necessarily to something that was my fault. I mean, it does sting still, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, it always stings. I mean, I've seen other runners have the same problem where, like, they were fighting for their tournament lives and then a power outage cost them their tournament race. So it happens, but it can't be helped.
Cannot be helped.
And chat pointing out, apparently the admins at our tournament are saying that at best they'd get a draw out of this, not a rematch. So that's, which again, like we said, you know, we've got 208 racers in this tournament right now. That's really, it's one of those things that can't be helped. You know, there's so many races we're doing right now. We're doing over 100 races a week. You know, trying to find the time for that is just really difficult.
Yeah. Willard's saying it's up to DT, so.
That's Willard for you. Willard, you know, me and him rib on each other all the time, but he is the man. No doubt about it.
Definitely a sadist, but does a lot of work.
I will never insult the man for the work he does. That's for sure. He is a very awesome dude.
Definitely a hard worker.
Yeah. He just likes to rib on me a lot for my volume. Nothing but love, Willard. Nothing but love. All right, so it looks like Dr. Bob is now making his way back over to Pod, or making his way over to Pod. He hasn't been in there yet. He's got to find that big key in there and be glad that he didn't go looking for the key.
Yeah, that would have been a long look for nothing.
Exactly. All right, so right now the eyes are on our bottom runners here, DoctorBobtastic and Caladrius, to see which one of these guys can win their particular race. And I'd say right now the money is on Dr. Bob. He's got a little bit of a lead going in here. Not by much, though, because they're both got a pretty even amount of crystals. Dr. Bob still has Pod and Meyer. Caladrius has Meyer and Turtle Rock, which he's already pretty much near the end of now. Actually, no, I guess Caladrius would have the lead here, but only by a very small margin. It's very easy for Dr. Bob to retake the lead if he wants.
Yeah, until we know where that GT big key is, any you know, anything that looks like a lead could be not a lead very quickly.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. we still don't have the big key in Thieves Town. That could come into play here.
It could.
And worse yet, we don't have the book to verify what's on either the tablets or the pedestal. And any one of those could have the items we're missing. So this is actually a very intriguing race here going forward.
You know what would be really funny?
Oh, let me hear this.
The big key to Thieves Town is in GT, but the big key to Ganon's Tower is in Thieves Town. That would be awesome. Well, GT has been entered by DT.
Oh, yeah. We do have our play into Ganon's Tower. All right. Well, in that case, let's get some early guess. I guess if I had realized this sooner, we could have done a modification of the old GT Big Key guessing game.
That is true.
But it's a little too late for that because he's already in there. But basically, I would say 0 to 22. 0 being outside of Ganon's Tower.
I was going to say 1 to 22 with a question mark at the end, and the question mark would be it's outside GT, but same deal.
Yeah. And we're getting our guesses in anyway. Chat, you never disappoint. All right, well, we've already seen 2 chests so far. Let's see. Number 3, big 20. Number 4, there's the book. Number 5, there it is!
Oh my god.
Wow, the book teasing you there, saying, oh, maybe it's outside. Nope, never mind, it's right here.
Oh, goodness. That is...
So now there is no doubt about it. We are in full go mode, ladies and gentlemen. DT is making his way up to the gauntlet as we speak. He's got Tempered Sword, Red Mail, and Silver Arrows, plus plenty of hearts. At this point, I think this race is all but his.
Wait. Though Caladrius is actually right behind him, going to...
Oh, look at that!
Could actually take the lead on DT if DT has some kind of issue in here, like dying on the gauntlet or despawning the tower.
Luckily for him, he doesn't have to worry about beating DT. He just has to worry about beating Dr. Bob. Though, I'm sure knowing that he beat a top-tier runner like DT would probably make him feel really good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As they're working their way at this gauntlet, I want to address the comments that have been going on regarding like how they... I think the organizers of the tournament have done a very good job dealing with situations like this. I mean, really, power outages should be handled on a case-by-case basis. You can't have a strict rule on that one because you never know what might happen or what circumstances go. So it's better to have a pretty decent set of rules that are flexible than to have it super strict. Because the whole point of the rules is basically to just make it fun for everyone, make it fair for everybody. You know, sometimes it's hard to it's hard if you have to penalize somebody for something that's not their fault, but sometimes you kind of don't have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously nobody in the tournament wants stuff like this to occur.
All right, well, let's see. Unfortunately, Caladrius did go went left side GT, which is not where the big key is hiding, so he is going to take a little extra time to dig through this, giving Dr. Bob a small chance to catch up here as DT now making his way up to the top end of the gauntlet. Gets to the last torch room. He is almost done. Oh, yeah, and a fair point made by the chat. Neither DoctorBobtastic or Caladrius have the silvers. Neither one of them went to Aga Tower. So they're going to be going silverless strats. And for Dr. Bob, it's especially troublesome because he still has Fighter Sword. He has not found any of the other sword upgrades yet.
He'll get one from Helmstor King, but
That's
the other
true,
one...
but that means he's going to be going Master Sword silverless unless he goes out of his way to find the silver arrows or the other sword upgrade. He is in trouble.
Just a bit. Especially since he's already completed Desert Palace, which is where the other sword is. It's not unthinkable that I'll go back there for those 2 chests, but at the same time.
Yep. Nonetheless, he is DT now working on Aga 2 as we speak. It's not getting too good of a pattern here. Well, that one's pretty good. There we go. Takes him out. Down goes Aga 2, and now it's time for the big pig. Caladrius now working on the Ice Armos. Fortunately, he's not going to find what he's looking for on the left side. He's going to have to go right if he wants to find that big key.
Oh, the key at the east town, the other side.
Oh, you called that earlier, didn't you?
I was half right.
Hey, better half right than not at all.
I'll take it.
All right, DT now into phase 3 of Ganon. As Caladrius now finally starting on the right side. He's eventually going to find that big key. And again, he's got plenty of time to catch to keep that lead.
We'll
and he's doing Tile Room.
So if you wanted to know what was in Tile Room in the seat, you're about to find out.
DT tried to get the torch glitch. Unfortunately, could not quite get it, but he's got the silver arrows. No problem. Takes him out, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Bacon.
DT taking out Ganon. Very nicely done.
Yep, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 4 seconds. We got a sub 2 hour run. Nicely done.
Yeah, and as DT finished, Mikan did forfeit, as they said they would.
Yeah, really not much choice there, unfortunately. And even DT saying, yeah, he would not, he doesn't, that's not the way he wants to win. He doesn't want to win by default. He wants to win legitimately.
Yeah. So it looks like DT will join us. I'm not sure if Mikan will or not.
I wouldn't blame him if he doesn't want to.
Yeah. Not a fun subject to talk about for sure.
No, absolutely not. Meanwhile, Caladrius now working his way up the gauntlet himself now. And sure enough, Mikan is not going to join us. Again, I don't blame him. Pretty somber way to end this kind of race. Hopefully he'll have better luck in the next round. But once we get DT in here, we'll be able to talk about his side of what happened, of how his race went.
And Mikan did play really well before the power went out, so I don't think they have anything to be ashamed of.
No, absolutely not. They did their best. It's just unfortunately, yeah, things like this happen.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Bob now taking on Vitreous as Caladrius working his way up the gauntlet.
Nothing, just use Bombos. This is like the I just want to be done strat.
Pretty much. Can't blame him at this point.
Well, Bombos, you can't dodge Bombos, skeletons, I'm sorry. Dr. Bob taking out Vitreous with the bow, as you would expect.
Best way to play. But unfortunately, again, he is going in Master Sword Silverless against this. You know, Caladrius also going Silverless, but he at least has Tempered Sword, so he's in a bit better shape here. And I can assure you, when it comes to Silverless fights, the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword is humongous.
We are joined by Mr. DT. GG, sir. Welcome.
Hello, thanks.
So, aside from what the unfortunate circumstances with your opponent there, how do you feel about this race?
I mean, the seed itself actually seemed pretty much straightforward and fine and dandy, to be honest. I was very, very unhappy with my own gameplay. Going all the way back to the Mothia fight just kind of put me on a tilt from the get-go. Because when I first get Dark World access, I tend to go to Skullwoods. And even though I knew I had the Fire Rod, it only really clicked for me that, hey, I can actually beat this. And then I was like, what am I doing? But whatever, we're already here, let's try it. Let's try it again. It didn't work.
It's a very tough fight.
That one definitely gave you some trouble there. We did see that. Plus, you also did a lot of gambles that, honestly, I was curious about, like, when going into pod as early as you did, you went into there very early as opposed to a lot of the other runners.
Reason for that was because I was already there to beat Eastern, and I knew that with the bow, even without a small key, I could still get at least, 3 or 4 chests. And then
Makes sense.
I wind up finding a small key in there too, I think.
Yeah, you found 1 or 2 small keys to pod and the big key for pod inside.
Oh my god,
of it. Like,
don't remind me of that. Yeah,
So,
just-
yeah, you got the
it's-
big key to pod. Then you went up and got the other chest in the dark maze, and then you
And
left.
then I
up
left.
The big chest.
and then I left. And I realized that right when I was saving and quitting, I actually facepalmed. I think loud enough for my neighbors to hear. It's like, why did I do that? But turned out to be inconsequential anyway, but still stayed with me the whole time.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
At least you didn't have to dig too deep into Thieves Town, considering that there was no way you could get into it without having all the crystals anyway. The big key being in Ganon's tower, which I will never figure out how that works out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty safe gamble when you have all the crystals. Just go to G Tower. I mean, just because why not?
Yeah, there's by far the most locations that key could be in GT, so you might as well.
Anyway, real quick to update on our other race right now. Dr. Bob is digging around for, I think he's trying to find the silver arrows before going into GT because he's got all the crystals. Neither of our bottom runners actually ever found the silvers in the Aga Tower. Both you and Mikan had found them before Mikan's unfortunate incident. Which, speaking of which, Mikan is in the chat, and I do want to send our sincerest condolences for having to lose the way you did, man. But regardless, Caladrius now working on Moldorm 2 here. And Moldorm is trying to get him hard, is trying to troll him hard, but not getting any luck. Gets the spin slash, down goes the troll. I get the feeling Dr. Bob is not comfortable with silverless Ganon because he is desperately trying to find those silvers.
Yeah, it seems that way. Though he might be just saying, okay, maybe they're in GT. I'm heading up there now.
They're not. We know where they are. It's the one place when it comes to if you don't do Keysanity enough, Aga Tower is the one place you don't think to check for items.
Yeah, it's the Light World GT, the other one.
Yeah, because I've done Keysanity casually, and I remember it took me like forever to realize to check Aga Tower. When I finally did, the flute was there, which was the one progression item I needed. So I know that feeling. And now people were asking in chat, we can now confirm it was just a heart container on the pedestal.
Okay, maybe he was looking for a GT Big Key as well. It's hard to say.
Hard to say for sure, but nonetheless, it's costing him more time as Caladrius has finished off Aghanim too, and he is on his way to get his bacon.
Don't you love Dead Rocks? Don't you love having to deal with them every time you play this game?
I call them the unofficial mascot of the randomizer because they are the biggest trolls in the entire game, bar none.
Yeah, they'll definitely leave an impression. To put it nicely.
They move around erratically, they get in your way, they cost you so much time, and they're very difficult to get rid of. The only way you can legitimately kill a dead rock is to powder them, which is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, good luck when they're like going 50 miles an hour.
And what about Trolldorm? I believe that's the official mascot of the randomizer is Trolldorm, which definitely is up there on the list in my opinion. Oh, and Caladrius takes a death.
Those fire bats will get you every time.
No kidding.
Fortunately, it won't cost him too much.
No, he'd have to die or take a fall to Ganon at least probably 2 or 3 times before Dr. Bob could catch up.
Yeah.
So Dr. Bob is playing the smart route. Or playing the right route. He's going to the right, which is where. Oh, never mind. He's gonna go to the left.
I think you have a case of foot and mouth syndrome. Is that what you?
Yeah,
is that what
foot
you're
and mouth
saying?
disease. I was just about to say I've suffered from my own case of that now. Actually, DT, I wanted to ask about that. Is that when you first found the book in Ganon's Tower, were you considering the idea that you may have to go out and find the and pull the pedestal?
Not for that specifically. I was fully expecting to find the book or powder or mushroom somewhere in the tower as it is. And I just simply wasn't expecting to find the key in the tower, so basically I was just expecting it to be a normal Keysanity.
True. Though, I just found it kind of funny, like, you find the book, oh lord, am I gonna have to pull the pedestal? Next chest over, oh, never mind, there it is.
Yeah, that actually did never cross my mind. Because there were other things I would have rather done than go to the pedestal anyway, especially since I didn't have the key to the remaining pendant dungeon. Remaining 2, actually.
Yeah, those were the Thieves Sound big key was in left side GT. Caladrius did confirm that.
Have we seen Hera anywhere?
Yes. Caladrius found that one as well. Both Caladrius and Dr. Bob have the big key for Hera.
Fortunately, it was in GT, where it's supposed to be. Okay, we have Caladrius doing silverless strats here.
Thankfully, he has red mail, plenty of hearts, and tempered sword, so this isn't the worst case scenario for him, but it's definitely not the best.
Oh, there we go.
We have bacon. All right, so Caladrius enters the rooms, finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 45 seconds. Get your GGs in chat there for Caladrius. He's now going to be up 2-1. And that pretty much means for Dr. Bob, he is out. He will finish the Swiss stages. However, he will not be able to advance to the brackets.
Let's see if we can get a Caladrius in here for an interview shortly.
And as we're doing that, Dr. Bob now heading up to the Ice Armos. Just gonna check good old Bob's chest. Hi, Bob.
You'll find a big key over here, but not the big key.
There's Quake over at Bob's chest.
Timely.
We didn't notice that on Caladrius' end, but yeah, that's where that was hiding. Dr. Bob having a little bit of trouble with those ice armors since they don't have the silver arrows to work with, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the floor is ice. That kind of complicates things as well.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to grab a safety fairy while they're here. We do have the bug net. We called it useless, but who's laughing now?
And we have Caladrius joining us now here in the channel. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. I did not expect to win from Dr. Bob, honestly. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you loud and clear. Yeah, we definitely
good.
agree. You know, but still, you did a pretty good job there. 2:10, pretty decent time, all things considered.
It's pretty near my personal best, actually.
Nice.
Awesome.
So, how did you feel about the seat overall?
But this seat was amazing. Like that early game.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I feel sorry for trackers having to keep track of 4 people with that.
Yeah, that I mean, I came in late. And even like you were only 3 minutes in, and you guys already had like 5 or 6 different items. I was like, holy cow! And then immediately just boom, 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 boom.
Sword in the sanctuary chest, and then the Uncle Cave had Moon Pearl and gloves. Like what? The first 30 minutes I spent with my mouth open. Like, what is this seed?
That's what I said too when we were going through. What is going on with this seed here? All these items so fast.
I was so scared for the troll, but it was just the Ganon Tower big key in GT itself.
Yeah, we were joking because DT was the first one to finish of the four of you, and like you open up the first chest, there's the book, and part of you has to be thinking, oh god, am I gonna have to leave and go check the pedestal? And then immediately afterwards, nope, never mind, it's right here.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really glad with how that went. I feel like my decisions were pretty good. My routing decisions.
Yeah, I think overall you did a pretty good job with your decisions there, and you and Bob were pretty close together by the end. I think you were like maybe a dungeon or 2 ahead at most. Like he's going up the gauntlet. He's going up. He's just now getting his big key for GT.
All right.
Push.
Yeah, watching right now. I see DT had silvers. Where were they?
They were in Aga Tower.
Oh god. I was thinking about going there when I got Master Sword. But well, since I already had done Pyramid, I figured I couldn't route it improperly.
It is tricky. It's one of those places, if you can get it early, it's great, but late game, it becomes harder and harder to consider routing it because there's really not many ways you can get back to it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't route it in. pod worked out pretty good as well. 2 small keys, 1 big key.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
3 keys per pod. And the
I was
vanilla
I was so glad when I found that big key there. And the other small key saving me from having to do the hammer jump.
Yeah, that pod play, Jesus. Like, normally we like to say, is this even randomized when you find stuff in Metal Dungeons? But in this case, at the very least, it was, is this even Keysanity?
Yeah, I didn't actually feel any trouble with items or keys most of the time. Like I had the Turtle Rock play where I had to dip out because I had no more keys. But that was pretty much all.
And even then, that didn't cost you that much time, all things considered. So
Well, I knew I could just get the first 4 chests, so that's not an awful lot of time loss. And I could route in Spike Cave with a Turtle Rocky, of course.
Yeah, the only major issue you had was you took a death again, and even then, that only cost you a
Yeah.
little bit of time.
Yeah, that was just phase 3, I believe, so it's not much. Would be worse in phase 4 with Silverless.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. You get down to that last hit, and then they snipe you at the last second. That would have.
Oh god, the pain. Well, I still had the blue pot left, so I probably would have played it more safe then.
That's true.
Those fire bats will get you.
Yeah, I hate phase 2.
Well, as we're waiting for Dr. Bob to finish up, let's give you guys a rundown of what's going on the rest of the day here, because we got a ton of races going on. In fact, over on Speed Gaming 1, we have right now going on Samurai Man versus its supercar. And in about an hour and 45 minutes at 6, we've got a quad race, OPT Lawyer versus Zertinal, and Haha Cell versus Fox Zero over on Speed Gaming 3. Later on today at 6:30, we have another quad race, Epic Yoshi 64 and Looney Cloud 87, as well as Ryuek versus Duke Firebird on ALTTP Randomizer 1. Then at 7, we have another quad race, Potshoe versus Mistaken, and Genja 23 versus Alucard 2004 over on Speed Gaming 2. Then at the same time, we have the Echoes versus Jex Refi over on ALTTP Randomizer 2. 8 o'clock, we have Final Flame versus Chauncey J on Speed Gaming. And we have Win DEU versus John Rossums. That's all quad race there. Yeah, and we're still not done, folks. Also at 8 o'clock, we have Zephylar versus Song Leaves on ALTTPR 3. And at 9 o'clock, we have Aaron Doby versus Skip C on ALTTPR 4. And finally, at 10 o'clock, we have a quad race, Kern versus Cross Product, and Dan Carnate versus Ingo Saro on Speed Gaming 2. And that's all just today!
Yeah, I hope you weren't planning on doing anything today. Productive.
Like we said, folks, we got over 100 races a week because we've got over 200 racers in this tournament, so definitely don't want to miss out. Meanwhile, Dr. Bob now working his way under the torch room. Just finishing up his run. He should be done here pretty shortly here. And make sure, if you guys enjoyed our Forerunners, make sure you give a follow to them on Twitch in the name of DT, Mikan, DoctorBobtastic, and Caladrius, as well as a shout out to our trackers, Move Allen Drone and Dragon Strike 1988, and of course myself and my co-commentator, Mally. Sorry, I blanked there for a minute. But yeah, give me and Mally a follow on Twitch as well. Show your love for all of us here. We do our best to give you guys a good show.
Speaking of trolls.
Oh, Trolldorm strikes again.
Doesn't even give him a chance, he just bonks him right off.
And of course,
And
as
again.
one of our oh no! What? Okay, this is the third race in a row I've seen this. Why is it the last runner in any race gets uber trolled by Trolldorm?
Well, he didn't get really to troll the other ones that much, so.
Yeah, but there's a pattern here because the last 3 races I've commentated, whoever is the last runner to get to troll Moldorm 2 gets trolled more than once by him.
Well, the troll always exacts its toll.
And of course, this chat was posting links earlier. If you guys are interested in the Keysanity tournament as a whole, you can see the past races. You can see the brackets, see our upcoming schedule for more than just today. And of course, our Discord if you guys want to get involved. And if you want to play it yourself, jump on board. This is free for everyone to play. Definitely give it a shot. All right, Dr. Bob now working on negative 2. Not having much luck here, unfortunately. Can't quite get more than a single at best.
Well, I mean, singles are better than nothing, I guess. Oh, the blue balls, though. There we go. You see, Bob is a man of mercy. Sometimes the runners like to slash Aghanim while he's down. Bob just waits.
All right, so Dr. Bob now starting his fight with Ganon here. Time for him to finally get his bacon. Ooh, very nice early phase there, just wailing on him there.
It's always nice when you can just sit with your back to the wall and just cut him up.
He's got a decent amount of health here. He's got that red meal. He's got the tempered sword. The only thing he doesn't have is the silvers, which makes things a little trickier. But if he knows what he's doing, he can pull it off.
Yeah, nice little hookshot dodge there around the bats, and then put him in the nice spot to hit Ganon. We're on phase 3. And Ganon's real nice today. It's not even teleporting that much.
Always nice when he's generous to you like that.
Well, I say that, and then he just... Yeah.
Foot and mouth disease is a very serious condition, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you see your doctor immediately if these symptoms occur to you.
You know, it's funny, is since the silvers are in Castle Tower, he could mirror and get those if he needed to.
Now that he knows they're there, he'll probably be looking for them if he saw the message. And worse yet for Dr. Bob is he did not get the torch glitch off, which is going to make it that much harder to keep up with all these teleports.
Yeah, this fight's a lot less annoying silverless if you get the torch glitch.
For those not aware, the torch glitch is if you light the first torch there on the left before the right torch goes out, the right torch will never go out, making it that much easier to get hits in off of. And you can see what happens when you can't get that torch glitch off. He's barely able to get a hit in on him right now.
Yeah, that doubles your magic consumption as well. Oh,
Oh, clutch fight here. It's getting close.
uh, oh no.
Oh my.
Just kidding.
Oh, we got a fairy.
So you see, the bug net is useful sometimes.
It has its purposes if you know what you're doing. And it looks like he's finally pulled it off. He got his bacon, ladies and gentlemen. He enters the room and finishes an official SRL time of 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 14 seconds. Get your GGs in chat form, folks. And speaking of the good doctor, he now joins us here in the channel. GG there, Dr. Bob.
Hey,
Hi.
how's it going?
It's going
That
pretty
was a
good.
thing. Okay, tell me, was it in the first or the second chest of Castle Tower?
First.
Dadgummit. Okay.
Well, I mean, at least it was in a convenient spot if you died to Ganon.
That is true. I didn't die to Ganon. I was fine. But that being said, actually, I don't think I could have had them for the Vitreous fight the first
And
time.
speaking of the good doctor, he now joins us
'Cause
here in the channel. GG
Finding
there, Dr.
those,
Bob.
the second sword was a pain.
Hi. Yeah, it certainly was.
I mean, it wouldn't have been a pain if I'd have checked the silly desert ledge and got the swamp key and gotten to get the
First.
desert key out of there and then gone to clear desert and got the silly sword out of there.
Hey, you know what? At least you went back for that and got it, because otherwise, yeah, you would have had to have dealt with Master Sword Silverless Ganon, and that's just not something anyone wants to do.
Yeah.
You seem a little, I guess, not pleased with the seed overall. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I felt like I was doing okay. I just didn't expect to get beat by 17 minutes. I don't look at the IRC while I'm spinning or while I'm playing, so I was doing fine until I saw the result, and I was like, dang it.
It happens, man. It happens. That's randomizer for you.
Yeah. Trying to figure out what exactly was going on there. Anyway, it was fun. What else would I have done? So like at the end there, once I got the 7th crystal, I was like, well, I'm gonna go scouring the world in those big locations with at least a couple of chests to see if I can find the Ganon's Tower big key before I go up there. And then of course I opened 2 other big keys along the way, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, you didn't want to believe that it was actually in Ganon's Tower, because especially after what happened with Pod and all the keys in there, it's like, okay, is this even Keysanity?
Yeah, Pod was a interesting animal, let's put it that way. See, I thought I was getting some really good stuff, like when I checked the Spike Cave and got the Turtle Rock key, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool if that's important. Especially because the only way to get there was an Agonist cave. Hello.
Yeah.
You know, I just had a thought. You were racing, and all of the keys, most of the pod keys were in pod. I think it was trying to reclaim your favorite name for it, the Mullet Mansion.
It was. The problem is, where were the pod keys? One was in the front. It was on the bridge, but where was the other one? No, they were both in the front. One was in the big key chest, one was in the basement.
Yeah.
I think
So
the
there
big-
was
on the bridge
itself that was in the dark maze, if I recall correctly.
Right. And that can happen in normal randomizer, so. But I was sitting there like, you know what? So now that I know that pod is a crystal, I'm going to go in and just really hope that the big key's in there. Once I found the map of pod. I assume most people went into swamp way earlier than me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just that small key on the desert ledge. I was like, I don't want to mess with desert right now. I've got this whole, mire is here, and I don't have any keys to desert, so let's just not mess with it. And completely forgetting there's a couple of things that are just completely right up available right there.
Quite a few good things in desert, actually.
Yeah, sword, boots. Oh, good lord, everybody got boots before me, and now I'm sad.
Aww.
It's happened to me as well. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm like, I want to not find boots until late, and I want everyone else to not find boots until late, because if you were watching me, you may have occasionally noticed me walking around while I have the boots. It may have something to do with the fact that I forget that I have the boots. So I'm just like, I'm gonna do bad if everybody has boots.
It happens, man. Anyway, I think it's about time we wrap things up. Any final thoughts from any of our three runners here before we sign off?
I had a good time.
I had a good time commentating.
Fun show.
Well, indeed, we definitely appreciate you guys putting on a good show for us here. Thank you guys for an amazing race, as always. And again, shout outs to Mikan, who had their unfortunate situation earlier.
What happened to Mikan?
Power outage.
Ooh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, sent him back at least a good solid, probably 20 minutes.
Something like that. They were actually their race was actually really close, which is really just makes it even more unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Good on them for trying, and they still had a chance. They're now 2-1, so they're still in the tournament. It's not over yet for them, but that's gonna do it for us here, folks. Make sure you guys follow all of our channels: Speed Gaming 1 through 4, ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4, Randomania 1 through 4, so you can keep up with all the races going on in this tournament. And again, make sure you give all 4 of our runners in the name of DT, Mikan, DoctorBobtastic, and Caladrius a follow on Twitch, as well as our trackers, Dragon Strike 1988, Novalandrone, and of course, and of course myself and my co-commentator Mally. In the meantime, and speaking of which, Mally, pleasure working with you, especially the last minute here.
Yeah, thank you for hopping in. I had a lot of fun commentating with you.
As did I. In the meantime, folks, on behalf of everybody here, I want to thank you guys for joining us as always. My name is The Shades, and as I always like to say, rock on, everybody!